All right, guys, so we've talked about attraction in this tutorial, and we've talked a lot about some attractors, things you do that are attractive, and I want to start off talking about things that are going to repel girls, things that make girls want to go away. And the first one I want to talk about is the most important one, and I call it premature telegraphing of interest. So the idea behind this concept is if a girl knows that you like her and that she could just have you before she knows that she likes you, then she's going to be a lot more likely to feel forced to a decision and then say no. So you come up and you talk to a girl. The idea is that you want to have a tentative interest. You want to be interested and you want to put your best foot forward, but you don't want to be sold on the girl yet. You want to be a little skeptical. So you want to say like, you want to talk and do your spiel for the first, couple minutes, and then you want to be like, well, what about you? What's your deal? What do you think? And you want to start bringing the girl into the conversation. And when you do that, you don't just want to be a yes man. I call this having honesty and likes and dislikes. If something you don't like, you don't want to tell the girl, oh, that's okay. You want to be like, fuck that. That's bullshit. You want to like call her on her shit. You want to not make things easy on her. And in this manner, she's not gonna, know that she can have you yet. So what some guys will do that prematurely telegraphs interest is they'll just be like sold on the girl. They'll be like a little bit too eager, and they'll give the girl too much body language. They'll face her too much, and they'll be too interested in the conversation, and they'll be a little maybe clingy, or the girl gets the idea somehow that she could just have the guy, right? So that's gonna immediately turn her off. There's this whole thing in the dating community about direct game where you just tell a girl, I like you. But what happens when you do that is you completely deny the emotional needs of the woman. She wants to have this experience where she meets a guy and she doesn't know if she could get him or not. And then, she thinks about him and she's like, well, I don't know. Does he like me? Does he not like me? He got my number, but does that mean he wants to go out with me or not? Was he just drunk? I don't know. And then she wants to like think about it. She wants to call her friend up. She wants to say like, oh my gosh, I met this guy last night. And her friend says, who is this guy? And she's like, well, I don't know. He's this guy and he does this and that. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to go out with him. Maybe I'm not. She wants to like have that anticipation, and then when you text her like a day or two later, she's gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, she texted." Then she's gonna text her friend and tell her you texted and you're going on a date. She wants to have that anticipation and that build up and that sexual tension, and that's something that is, it creates an experience for the woman that's an emotional kind of a journey, and that's what a woman is after. She doesn't want no challenge at all, and just for a guy to be like, "I like you," because then she's like, I don't know. I don't really know enough about this guy. Do I even like him? Nah. Because that's not, she's not used to valuing a guy who does that. A guy who's desirable, a guy who's valuable to women is the guy who like all the girls like, and he's hard to get, and he's, challenging, and she has to work to get this guy. So you need to provide her with the, luxury of having that experience. You need to say to yourself, okay, I'm smart enough to know what a girl likes. A girl wants to go through this emotional experience because girls are emotional, so I'm going to engineer or give her that experience, right? And the way to do that is to, you can be interested and you can be charismatic and you can be having a great time, but you don't want to be sold yet. You want to be a little bit skeptical kind of behind the scenes. So you would say, yeah, well, tell me about that. Like, oh, you're a cheerleader? Tell me about that. That seems like kind of a weird thing. And you want to give that girl a chance to kind of like talk to you. What will happen in a conversation is you'll start talking at first. The girl's going to be neutral and reserved. Once she decides she likes you, she's going to start talking more, and you're going to invite her to start talking more by asking her a few questions and bringing her into the conversation, right? So during that process, you're going to maintain a neutral, reserved energy yourself while she starts talking, right? So first, she's neutral and reserved, then you're neutral and reserved. And in that manner, you can kind of be skeptical of her and be like, well, tell me about that. I don't know. I don't like that. You're crazy. You're some crazy chick. And you're going to like, be a little challenging to her. And in that manner, you're not letting her know that you would already have her, right? So you need to maintain this kind of like interested but not yet sold vibe with her, because if you telegraph that interest too prematurely, you don't know you're doing it, and the girl just gets the idea she can have you, she's going to go away. So that is a huge thing. And in fact, I generally fix that in almost the huge majority of the clients that I work with in person on a one-on-one. We always end up The guy always end up, telegraphing too much interest, and so I end up fixing some kind of a body language thing. So if you want to do this on your own without my help, probably the best thing to do is start learning the sprinkler, because that's one thing that really will keep you from prematurely telegraphing. That's like the number one move to do that. And if it's something else, it's going to be something that I might have to look at. It's kind of hard to isolate. You have to do this the best you can yourself, and you oftentimes have to if you can't figure it out, you have to have somebody like me look at it for you. But I didn't mention this before, but the number one sign that you're going to get if you're prematurely telegraphing is if you get a lot of boyfriend objections. So if a girl listens to you for a minute or so and she's like, I have a boyfriend. What happened there is the girl got the idea she could have you, got the idea that you were hitting on her. She didn't like you yet, and she felt forced to be like, nah, nope, I'm not in. And so that's why the easiest excuse is to say she has a boyfriend. So if you are getting those boyfriend objections, make sure that they're vague. If a girl tells you, oh yeah, I have a boyfriend, I'm sorry, we've been together 6 months, or whatever, if she offers details, then you know that that's probably true. But if you're getting 2, 3, 4 girls out of 10, and they're just saying I have a boyfriend, and they don't offer any other excuse, and they go away, you should be able to say to yourself, okay, is this because of something I'm doing? And you should be able to look back and go, okay, what am I doing? Am I facing her too much? Am I talking too eagerly? What am I doing here? And that's the process you're going to have to go to figure out how you're telegraphing that interest. So that's an important thing to not do, to not let a girl know that you like her until she likes you first. Don't go overboard after that and be like, I love you. But you're allowed to show a little bit of interest. You're allowed to approach. She gets to know that you're interested because of that. You're just not sold yet. That's the correct way to do this.